Hello and welcome to the Rialto Theatre. I'm so glad all of you are here tonight. Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate it. So, I'll tell you this, I don't forget to tell you this later. So the Rialto Theatre is owned by the guy getting the lights right here, Seth Vale, and his brother Nate Vale. And they're artists. Like, they started this up as artists having a place for artists, and this event would never have happened if it weren't for the Rialto Theatre, if it weren't for Seth Vale. I'm just really grateful for this space. It's been an amazing place. Is an amazing place. And I want to tell you a little bit about our feature tonight. So I knew who Stephanie was, but the first time I actually heard Stephanie's performance was virtually. We were locked down in COVID, and there was this virtual event, and I was really excited because I knew Stephanie's name, but I'd never heard you. But it was Ephraim Nehemiah, and it was Rachel Wiley, and it was Stephanie Ginese. And Ephraim is amazing, Rachel's amazing, they've both been features here. And I came to this, and I didn't know your work from you performing it, and you blew the night away. Like, you were easily the one. I watched that, like, in the presence of Rachel Wiley and Ephraim Nehemiah, I walked away going like, whoa, over here to Stephanie Ginese. And she's been on the list of people I'd like to have features since I started doing this event, so I'm really excited that we could do that tonight. At that point in time, this book was in the works. You were reading from the future release of Unto Dogs. And I will tell you, this is one of my absolute favorite poetry books ever, like top 5 easy, best poetry books ever written. Do you have copies with you tonight?
I got like 2.
All right, so the first 2, I recommend you speak quickly because it's an amazing book. I'm really excited for the night. We're going to have Stephanie come up for a set. We'll do a break. We've got an open mic here. A lot of you are already on there. Feel free to join in if you're not. Please welcome to the mic, Stephanie Ginese.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for coming out.
Woo.
After Twister's Northeast Ohio edition, I saw that movie on Sunday, and now I feel like then it happened, and I was like, what did I do?
It was your fault.
It was my fault. I also want you to know that I didn't make it through the entire movie because after the first tornado, I got motion sickness and had to leave the theater. There's a poem in there somewhere. Yeah, I wrote this book. I'm going to read some poems from it. Cool, thank you.
Yeah.
This first poem is the first poem in the book. It opens the book, and I wrote it because Facebook is a funny place for families. But I posted something on there, and my sister, my half-sister, we have the same last name, was like, hey, you can't just go posting whatever you want. We share a last name. And I was like, what gives you the right, what makes it more like your last name than my last name to do with? And a tidbit about my family is I'm half Puerto Rican, half Italian. This was the Italian side of my family. I'm the only person on that side of the family that is of like a mixed race identity. So it's a fun time sometimes, I'll just say. Anyway, this poem is called An Italian and a Puerto Rican Walk into a Bar and Give Birth to This Atrocity. My father's name finds me dizzy in the ocean, crying splints of glass, a mangled compass lodged in my throat. This is so 1492 of me. My father's name brings me where everything is new, but I am an American daughter that knows nothing of land or opportunity. And so, I am claiming my father's name for mine. Treaty of territory, self, little body, I. And so I designed this page to look like a document, a treaty. And it says, I hereby am a fleet of disease upon my father's name, twining chains around the ankles of my father's name, testing the sharpness of my blade on my father's name, riding on the back of my father's name, cutting the hands off my father's name, ravaging the manhood of my father's name, feeding to my dogs the supple babes of my father's name, ending the empire of my father's name, birthing a new nation with my father's name. I've tried to find the meaning of my father's name and come up empty. Therefore, I give my own meaning to my father's name. Hereby, this atrocious history is now my father's name. And then I signed that bitch.
Yeah.
Thank you. I never performed that one or like read it to an audience, so thank you.
What?
Thank you. Yeah, that's what I'm doing tonight. I came all the way to Akron, so I was like, let me read all the stuff in the book I never read.
Yeah.
Because this is a celebration. We're here.
Yeah.
Also, I want you to know I've been without power since the storm yesterday, so that's why I look like I just got up for class. I wanted to give you more respect because you deserve it. This is a theater named the Rialto. The Rialto is a beautiful bridge in Venice, Italy. And I got to see it last year. That was pretty tight. I'm going to read the epigraphs that are also in the front of the book because I've never done that. And we're doing new things, Akron.
Right.
Once I was a shedder of blood, and the great eagle took me in his claws and came into my mouth and ate thereof. He traded me for figs and oil and wine. He drank of me and caused me shame. That's from the play 45 Mercy Street by Anne Sexton. Yeah, she was cool. Great writer, weird lady. The other epigraph is, the womb is something that I throw into the garbage if I could. Irene Villar. She is a character within this book. So if you have a copy, or if you get a copy, you'll see. This poem's called La Hija, the Good Daughter's Prayer. The mothers who came before me refused soft hands over continuing the fight. Never tolerated being under someone's rule. They knew life was as perishable as plantains the moment before they became maduros. The mothers who came before me were all machete-tongued, rum-drunk, cracked chicken neck, a little pica in the coffee. They are all gone, yet still breathing within the wildest parts of me. I am made in their vision. Thank you. This book has a lot to do with like history and inheritance and history and like medical trauma. It's about the birth control pill trials and sterilizations that happened in Puerto Rico during the 1950s and 60s. And it is one of the highest rates of sterilization that has ever happened in the world. And not many people know about it. We wonder why. But finding out that history as like a Puerto Rican woman who's experienced her own kind of, discrimination in the healthcare field, it was crazy to realize. And then I became obsessed with it and had to research and find everything I could about it. And then 5 years later, this book came out. And here we are. This book came out like 2 years ago, so there we were. But the fun part about this book was I just really got to play a lot. That's my favorite part about poetry is like, yeah, there are rules, but who says? So there's a few poems in here that are written like scripts. So all the script descriptions are in there, and this one's called Confession. Fade in. Empty room, single spotlight. Self. Self sits on the floor, haloed by the spotlight and a plume of smoke. Self. I will offer this body to a howling God. Pray it weighs enough sacrifice to salvage the most infernal parts. But I will not repent for these sins, for desiring a good story more than I do my own peace. Self takes another hit. Exhales. Self. The thing is, I'm always willing to dance for my food. See these souls? A scabbed stigmata of misfortune. And what of my love? A filterless cigarette, a burning drag, most times the funniest girl at the party. Until sunlight trespasses the dust-spangled sill, and the laugh track untangles from her teeth. Thank you. Hydration is important.
Yeah.
Beer has water in it. It does. I haven't had beer in a long time, but I was like, I survived something yesterday, so I deserve beer. you know? I'm like living out of my car right now. I also realized I wouldn't make it. Like in a real disaster, I was like, didn't have my phone, and I was like, what do I do? It was ridiculous, but it was also kind of nice. Like being in the middle of the street, I was like, nobody knows where I am, nobody can contact me. We'll see if I make it back to Cleveland after this. I'm gonna read another poem. Oh, this one, it talks about teeth again. Yeah, it's called, it has 3 titles. Dermatillomania, aka how my anxiety shows up, aka what my mother passed down to me. I chase light each day, more so flame. Seduced by that which occupies and consumes, I spend too many minutes weighing the future, its ghosts. Which saint do I pray to when the need to feast on fleeting moments becomes the devouring of skin? I hope to reincarnate as something that does not have teeth. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like pick at the cuticles. Anybody else like a nail biting, finger picking? Oh, it's awful. Bro, I got my nails done and I didn't even, nothing works. I tried therapy. All they told me, they're like, you have OCD. And I was like, cool.
Okay.
Yeah, what now? It's fine. You know, like I said, I did a lot of research for this book and tried some shit out. We're allowed to curse, right? There's no kids here. Okay. This is a place for artists.
That's right.
Anyway, I like this poem. It's only 3 words. Here's the title. The 3 R's of American Medical Experimentation, 1956. Rabbits, rats, ricans. Thank you. How much more time do I have?
We're here for you. Do what you want.
All right. You know, that's not true. These are all new friends. They don't even know if they like me yet. They might. The poem right after it, I didn't write at all. I sing about poetry. You don't even have to write it. These are all lines that are quotes borrowed from different eugenicists in American history. Some who were featured on the cover of Time magazine as Man of the Year. Wow. And these are some of the quotes him and his little friends have said. The poem, the title, I'm not going to explain it. You can look at it later. I'll start with the quotes. It is better for all the world if instead of waiting to execute degenerate offspring for crime, or to let them starve for imbecility, society can prevent those who are manifestly unfit from continuing their kind. I have studied with interest the laws of several American states concerning prevention of reproduction by people whose progeny would, in all probability, be of no value or be injurious to the racial stock. That was Hitler. Your army of occupation. More children for the fit, less for the unfit. Reckless breeders. The gradual suppression, elimination, and eventual extinction of defective stocks, those human weeds which threaten the blooming of the finest flowers of American civilization. Given birth control, the unfit will voluntarily eliminate their kind. Birth control does not mean contraception indiscriminately practiced. It means the release and cultivation of the better elements in our society. Birth control must lead ultimately to a cleaner race. The availability of the operation is quite apparent, and for women who cannot afford the cost, and most public hospitals charge only $25 to $30, a blood donation of 2 pints is accepted in payment. The Puerto Ricans. They are beyond doubt the dirtiest, laziest, most degenerate, and thievish race of men to ever inhabit this sphere. What the island needs is not public health work, but a tidal wave, or something to totally exterminate the entire population. It might then be livable.
Yeah.
That was a guy who was on the cover of Time.
I knew you were going to say that.
What?
I knew that was coming after that one.
Yeah, a tidal wave. That's cool.
Wow.
That's cool. Let's see. What other ones we got in here? Okay, I'll read this one. So like I said, there are some characters in this book, some women who I name by name. Lolita Lebron, who is a very famous Puerto Rican nationalist, depending on who you ask. Freedom fighter, terrorist, we don't know. But she was in jail for 27 years for going to Congress in 1954 with a gun and 2 other Puerto Rican dudes and a flag. They weren't going to kill anybody, they didn't kill anybody, but they did shoot off the gun and try to get people's attention about what was going on in Puerto Rico. Then she had a daughter who was one of the victims of the sterilization, who they took out her uterus and then were like, all right, go on home now, you know? And if you know anything about hormones, that's wild. So she became very depressed, committed suicide. Her daughter came from the island at 15, went to Syracuse University, and is this prolific writer, but then went on to have, TMI, very sorry, 15 abortions. She wrote a book about it. But I became very fascinated with how all of this was tied together, and how all 3 of these women, grandmother, mother, daughter, when we think about the phases of the moon or the phases of a woman's life, right? Making mother crone, all those sort of, aspects of womanhood. And so that's in this book. Yeah. I feel like writing this book was that meme of Charlie Day from It's Always Sunny with just all the red threads and and my friends were like, what are you working on? I was like, do you want to know? Anyway, this poem's called Lolita Writes an Op-Ed on Parenting. Beyond myself, I am something other than a mother. Beyond this shoreline, I am something other than occupied. Until I reach the next shoreline, then I am a cipher. Oh, what we could be full of if anyone knew the right way to hold a gun in the atomic age. As in, I'm trying to make the world a better place for the future. As in, the child is wise enough to know that this is bigger than them. As in, what does it matter if only one of us survives? We are nothing without the people who hold us together. As in, if I have taught you nothing, child, let me at least teach you how to think beyond yourself. If I don't see myself as a nation, how will I know where the bombs end and I begin? If I don't see myself as a mother, but more so a movement, how will I know the differing pitch of a battle cry from a hunger cry? Don't both deserve a warm sip of salted milk from the teta of a country that claims to know their ache? What good are children if they are made of mere sacrifice? I will not wreck my body to birth anything other than a revolution. Thank you. All right, last one. And then you guys gotta come read. And I get to sit there and be a good audience member. Very excited for that part. Hold on. This is the last poem in the book. Second birth. Newly emerged from the mother wound of God, little body carries self through a threshold of barbed edges. Little body does not ask for much besides a warm bed and some puff. Small thing, precious and forgiving, is most selfless at night. Opening for anything that might stay long enough to see, little body can do tricks. Turn slither and beast with a flash of bone tooth when it meets the flesh just so. What filth little body is capable of. Replace filth with healing, for here they mean the same. Self does not ask for much besides the freedom to talk of the dark and some respect on her name. Self was made into a little fire by creator spirits who say bitch with their fangs and spend their vacant hours smoking cigarettes held by claws red as warning. Self and little body meld together, create I, as in I am as resilient as a crucifix. I have never belonged to anything but the moon or the ghosts of my sisters, who are not really my sisters, but what I mean is understood. I want to smoke cigarettes religiously, as in I am willing to tar my throat for the sake of worship. Though I don't like going to the doctor or I don't have health insurance, both are true, so my rowdiest holes stay supple and unfixed. Anyway, back to the story about what I owe my life to. Hey! Really, it's all of this. A council of girl mothers who answer prayers faster than any man gods of foolish can claim. However, do not be misled. It isn't always this way. They do not wake every day tied to their survival. Sometimes, when the problems are away, the council sighs, each of them lighting a harmless cigarette, kicking their well-walked shoes off a blood birth of their favorite songs melting from the window, the whole time, laughing like dogs. Thank you.
That's from your book, Auntie Dog? It sure is.
How could you get that book?
I got 2 copies, but you can also go to my website.
See what I was talking about the book? Those were the pieces that she doesn't read out as often. Did you catch that? Give it up one more time for Stephanie Ginese. All right, who's ready for an open mic? All right. As always, the energy you give out, energy you get back. So clap it up, cheer it up. I should have said that earlier, but please put some energy out there for these amazing folks jumping on the open mic. We're going to start off tonight with a regular here. Please welcome to the stage, Sylvia Clark.
Hello, Arianna. What's happening? I'm going to read some poetry for you today.
Please.
This first one's called Listening. Wisdom whimpers and wails around our ankles, pulling on our apron like neglected offspring, stunted hopes that hold our promises inside them. To realize, to grow, to come to our own cliches. Will we renounce our sights made plain in this objectified manscape? Will we leave the dandelions to sprout between the sidewalk that every child learns from? The scraped knee and the balming kiss, the anthill and the hose, the sun and the magnifying glass. Could we be students in the eyes of the trees? Is the fondness green not yellow and blue, the sun and sky imbued? Is the wind a front for swirling pressure, a wisping caution of the coming rain? We revel in the breeze like youth against the clockwise vultures, seething, starving for afterlife, but finding none. We devour and exhale in the same sun as them. The wind howls through our hair, and we still cannot hear, too swept up to learn, as we wager our only bareness before we can appraise it for ourselves. We will burn as they have burned, as the clouds block out the light. The storm leaves mirrors of epiphany. Who body? One word. Whobody else is dead below the eyes? Whobody defeated our tone to speak without bass, unequalized? Whobody else can speak with stereo congruence, conductor and pump organist as one body? Whobody knows CPR? Whobody is drowning in the amber waves, fraught with swollen was bodies, had been somebody's? Whobody was eyewitness to their blood, bones, and bruises? They're only once alive bodies, now as dead as any red, white, and blue body. Who body has become a flag body, once alive on air, that hit the ground without running. Who body wants to see them burn, but these nobodies with red flag codes? Who body is able to sleep soundly while they forever turn in their deathbeds? Who body else in their final words would turn to familiar caskets underneath, fighting to be heard aloud when you cannot breathe, while under the pressure of somebody with weak gaskets? How many were bodies are needed to create American soil? Who body remembers the punchline? Who body is joking anymore? Who body treasures the spoils of pleasure of the death yield rot, as our decomposed buried whole in coal fields rot? Who body else catches these body stanzas reaching through the rye for your throat? Who body knows any better?
Thank you so much, Sylvia. Next to the stage, we have first time to the mic up here, but not first time to a mic in the Rialto Theatre. Please welcome to the stage, Sophia Jones.
Hi. These are a little bit deep, but it's okay. My first one is called This Place. I hate this place. You took my body and threw it right in my face. I can't escape while I live in a house that's not my home. You see, I'm alone, but I'm not. You left me here thinking with all my thoughts, they're not real. Then tell me how I really, really feel. You used my body, so why am I so sorry? I need to escape you, I need to erase you, and I need to replace you. Okay, my second one's called I Hate You.
Sorry. I want to know more.
I hate you. I hate the way you are. Your hair, your face, your laugh, your space, the drink you have to take. I hate the way you cry, the way you die inside when you can't get anything right, and you're left there, waiting for something new. Is the alcohol not amusing you? You're numb. Is it done? You can't feel God. Is this really real? It won't end. The pain is here, but mostly with him. He brings me fear when his voice is near. The shit he says, it won't go away. From this awfully awful, awful place, can I just run away? Okay, I have one more. It's called What I Gave. You see me, what I gave, but you take. You felt me, watched me cry, kept the lie. You hear me, saw me shake, give me a break. You see me, what I gave, but you take. But oh, you changed. Wanna see me, wanna love me. I'll forget a while. Then I see her, wanna be her. I'm in pain. Tossing and turning, my heart is yearning, only for you.
Thank you so much, Sophia. Glad you came up.
Thank you.
Next up, first time to the Rialto Theatre. Please give a warm welcome to Dezhawn France.
Hey, I typically do stand-up. I do stand-up comedy. I'm friends with Stephanie, and I did a couple poems. She has a great show in Cleveland. If you're there on Sundays, every Sunday, it's like one comic, one poet, and one musician. And yeah, I did it there. I'm When I was a kid, I used to write poetry a good amount. I remember I wrote poems for like my friends. I wrote poems for my friends' girlfriends. Because they would do bad shit and then they would need like me to like try and help mend their relationship. I would do stuff like that. I do want to I'm gonna read some of the stuff that I read. I want to say no, I'm just gonna read. But I want to do jokes. No, I'm gonna read a few poems. Was it time? Like how much time? Or I'll just read like.
Keep it.
Yeah, I'll read like 3.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't keep my poems on my phone because I think the paper's more genius. I can't find it. All right, this first one is called. This first one is pretty short. It's called "Damn Nigga, I Just Got Here."
Okay.
I remember the day I was born. I remember those first words you said to me. Let me hold a couple dollars. Thank you. Exactly. This next one is called. I used to read a lot of Shel Silverstein. We were just talking about that. We read a lot of Shel Silverstein when I was a kid. This one was kind of me trying to like mimic that and kind of get into that type of. Right, it's called Garbage Man. Garbage man, I'm a garbage man. To take your trash, yeah, that's my plan. A broken fan, some old pop cans. I collect treasure trash all across the land. Garbage man, I'm a garbage man. Yeah, that's my job. I deal with filth, but I'm not a slob. A broken doorknob, a rotten corn on the cob. We pick up everything, even thingamabobs. Garbage man, I'm a garbage man. Early in the morning you hear that sound. Your trash better be in the bin and not on the ground. I love the landfill. There's trash all around. Let's see what I find. Let's see what I found. Ooh, a flat basketball. Oh, what? A dirty memory foam pillow. A fork. A tampon. Oh, wow. An old copy of Jerry Maguire on VHS. What's that? What the? Oh, fuck. That's a dead body. Thank you. Should I do information or please stop apologizing?
Please stop apologizing.
Yeah.
All right.
Does this explain the dead body or is this completely?
Nah, that's the end.
Wait, is the dead body the garbage man?
No, the dead. Well, I guess he's like in the landfill, finding all these treasures, and then he comes across a dead body. Maybe I should figure out how to make that more clear. I guess.
No, it's clear. I got questions.
Oh, you got questions about how the dead body got there? I don't know. Somebody killed him and put him there.
Garbage man doesn't know. Yeah.
Or maybe he got lost because he was also another garbage man, and he was having the time of his life, and he got carried away and died. Yeah, a needle or something got him. The title of this one is kind of this poem is called "I Really Wish You Would Stop Apologizing." I don't know. I guess that's probably how you were socialized. I don't know, but it's making me feel uncomfortable. Maybe I just don't have enough empathy, or I'm not don't have consideration for others. All right. That's a title. Bitch, please stop apologizing. It's making me feel bad. I don't know if I did something, but it makes me feel like I'm scary. Wait, am I scary? Is it like sexy scary? Are you into that? I don't know. I think you're hot too. Oh, really? You back to your place? Sure. I mean, let's do it. Wow, you got a really nice place. Ah, man. Ah, I like the pictures on the walls. I like those. Oh, Mulholland Drive on Criterion. I got that too. Oh yeah. Sex. We're supposed to be having sex. You got an amazing body. You really do. Your breasts are. Yeah, I didn't know if I was supposed to say breasts, but I feel like boobs is a little childish. Oh yeah, sex. Oh, you're grabbing my hand. Oh, you're putting my hand down there. Oh. I just came. I'm so sorry. I apologize. Thank you.
Full circle. Full circle.
Nigga, you just got here.
Thank you so much.
I'm riding.
Next, please welcome to my December's feature here, TaJuan Immanuel, sKai.
I feel really bad because it's going to be like a sharp tone shifter. Thank you for giving laughs. So I wrote these poems intended to be like twins. I'm really into songs that are two-parters. Think I don't know if anyone listens to Tyler the Creator, but Gone Gone Thank You. It's my favorite song by him. But I think if you were to take away maybe Gone Gone could fly on its own, but Thank You really needs Gone Gone, right? They kind of are conjoined twins. I wanted to make two poems that were I don't know, fraternal twins. They could stand on their own, but I think they work best together. They stem from ignorance. You know how they say ignorance is bliss, blah blah blah. One of them's titled Bliss, and then also ignorance just as can lead to a lot of negative things as well. So I wanted to take those two things. So the first poem's called Bliss, and the second poem's called Blues. Bliss. Leafing through the storybook of my life, and all the pages with the creased corners, carrying the parts deemed worthy, marked important, and glazed with crooked glory, I found seeds of ignorance growing, guiding me forward to flipped pages, slips of knowledge where I hung on the edge between hurt and happiness. The happenings of my fate another cloudy day, the sun I would later become only a lurid affair. The air of my father's vigor and my mother's vinegar-soaked collard greens. Memories of family dinners the four of us would share. My brother and I making chairs for my parents, our food and futures held in their hands. Then rinse plates, Super Mario, and mental safaris, when our minds could be safely explored and excavated. It's gorgeous, the excitement a child's imagination brings, that ignorance brings in unhealthy heapings. And it was always the hollow pleasures, pages of bedroom door basketball, paragraphs of the faucet water in grandma's bathroom, trading baby buck teeth for a crisp Washington and annotations that worshipped magic. Sunday classes claiming angels were round us, and kid cuisine brownies were enough trust, enough faith for the good word, the good place we were promised to be able to pet lions because fear lost its hold on us. Ignorance whispered superpowers and we were unstoppable. We were the Western canon and our sun reigned even in the rain, because the most poetic pages of my life is in the chapter where my dad and I were allowed to fly the fair ride one last time. While the clouds covered us in a million wet kisses, my eyes overwhelmed and my mouth wide open, swallowing salt water, exhaling laughter and love for my father. God and ignorance looking away, letting us have this little moment together, knowing, waiting for time to turn the page, to educate. Blues. Scrolling through the album of my life and the ballads of strife that formed me unapologetically, the sense of sadness swelling, swerving my growth, guiding my guiding hands amputated, amplified hurt. In other words, it's another family of organs and funeral chimes. But we kept the band together as long as we could. I was lead vocals. I really can't sing though. My brother and his guitar, my mom, percussion, rather, my mother's face and flesh, a drumstick, and my father, the talented drummer with a rock star fury. The fire of the timpani's roar, forever impressive. How it drowns the sounds of fear, that even the sad violins couldn't hide the violence. But try again, said ignorance, the manager, the profiteer, and so begins a tricky canon that made you believe it'll be different. Some vibrato here and there, but it's a constant riff, a strict tempo, tempting more outbursts. But I was a quick learner, not a prodigy, but a master observer. I skipped his abuse and did it myself. I made my skull a symbol and stormed up a thunderclap. I beat myself beautiful, my presence a wish silence, my presence an apology unforgiven. I tried everything to be perfect, worthless to keep my dad around, at peace, but the round must complete itself anyway. Flat notes be damned, and this fantasy of family was dark and twisted from the start. The conductor wouldn't stop. Ignorance asked for one last dance. So the hinges groaned ugly xylophones like broken bones, and the sour chords of wrecked furniture masked the keyboard patter of children scrambling to safety. Though music is most pure with eyes closed, the outro was creeping and the composition crescendoed. And to console my brother's guitar solo cries, I squeaked the only lyrics of this sonic massacre: it's okay. It's my fault. It's my fault. And then everything fades out, bringing life back to a false calm, cold requiems from here on out. But the soul of the song continues. If listened closely, the metronome in my chest still chugging, a mezzo piano prayer for progress. Thank you.
Please welcome next to the mic another regular here at Amann.
Yeah, I feel it's all downhill from here. Yeah. I'll start with the thing I wrote while I was sitting here.
All right.
All those days and night times too, so much life just pissed away. Another old man's old regrets, there's not much else to say. All the times where something's missing, not sure what I'm searching for. I've had some of this and loads of that, but there must be something more. Still I end up marching on ahead. I guess it's really not so bad. Leaves me with some fairy tales about the times I've had. Some of this is reruns, but from years ago. Not all new for here. This one, TaJuan talked about his father. This one's like a memory with my dad. One of the first things I remembered happening was him taking me flying in a paper cup. When I was like, oh, that big maybe. So anyhow, reaching for the sky again, I hear the slipstream call my name. This old land is worn out for me. I want to fly and leave the game. Rising up to see the sunrise, patchwork earth beneath my wings, feel the jostle of the thermals and forget all earthly things. I want to fly into the sunset, orange to purple, blue to black, fly above the storms of sorrow, dream of never coming back. And I don't know what this is from. It just is. Sunset on the city street. People catch the fading rays. All the traffic passing by, moving in their separate ways. I dream back to times before, back there in the better days. Afternoons up in that room before we went our separate ways. Just give back that afternoon, spent and dreamy from love. Sunlight lit the drift and smoke, we lit each other's dreams. Fading sun on summer walls, making light and shadow plays, wrapped up in each other's touch, not a thought about the separate ways. Thank you, thank you. Man, there have been some terrific people here tonight. Thank you.
All right, we have 3 more of us coming to the open mic, unless anybody's throwing the name on there before we finish. Next to the open mic, we have the very first feature here at the Angry Cow Poetry in the Rialto Theatre. A Rialto favorite. You've been featured for Kenmore Winter Break. You were part of the 2-year celebration and our very first feature. Please give it up for Danielle, Nicole, Nikki, Dixon!
I've been doing this thing this year that to help me write more. So I would find that when I'd be at work procrastinating, that's when my best ideas happen. So I would jot them down. I call them procrastination musings, and sometimes they lead into other things. So this one I'm just kind of testing out. I don't know what I call it yet, but yeah, anyway. Hot and wavy summer days I spent grounded, sitting on the steps. My mother's choice of punishment backfired, grounded us both together in the hot house. So I was paroled to the steps, sulking, saying stuff like, when I get big, daydreaming about the world, what the world must be like off the porch. Or under the hood of my neighbor's car, getting yelled at for not holding the flashlight just so, like my neighbor does with the boys across the street. My true blue friends sit with me on the steps, even though they're free. We play punch bug, no punch back. I spy a brutal game of thumps that leaves everyone's knuckles sore, and a riveting game of, ooh, that's my car. Sun glints hard off of 70 steel. Hood boys cruise the streets in the rides they've been fixing up all year. Slow, music loud, lean back with sunglasses. None of these cars were new, but we were alive at the end of a golden era for the backyard mechanic, before machines took over, when things were built to last, and parts were easily interchangeable. Hood boys bonded with their hood uncles over oil changes, grease rags, and keeping old things, not yet classics, running. Where you could take a beater with a heater, add subwoofers in a decent system, and be the ones the little badass porch-bound kids point at and yell, ooh, that's my car. Maybe that's my car. Maybe that's the name of it. I don't know. But that's that one. Hard left turn coming.
Yeah.
Hold on. I'm not religious, but I believe the churchy folks when they said that there is somebody for everybody. Don't think my order's gonna be DoorDash from the Jesus store though. See, I'm not really a Christian mingle kind of girl. I'm more hookups for heathens. I need me a Friday night kind of love. I worked all week, too tired for innuendo and gentle things kind of love. Oh, where'd it go? What just happened? Okay. All right. Jesus tried to take the wheel. We coming back though. But I do have enough war in the tank to rampage with some other son. Our pulsing, so rhythmic, so strong, seismic quakes flux between passion and violence. I wonder if he hates me. Maybe I hate him too. We rail against each other, cling to each other, outlast and outdo the other. The urgency to satiate our loneliness leaves welts and bruises, but tonight we feed. They once said Jesus fed the multitudes, but we're not multitudes, just two people. And who was to say this isn't a legitimate prayer? Alright, well, I'm reminiscing again, so this one is The Hood Has Holes. The hood has holes, potholes, hell holes, holy rollers, watering holes where spirits tap. These old haunts, empty lots. New children chase across lawns, stomp down the same blades of grass we stomped, running through our memories like we were never there, forgotten, demolished. The hood erased us. Why do I care about these holes? These ruins I come home to in my dreams. Did I bury shards of myself there? Do I come back to find my missing pieces? Do these old bones call me? Are they horcruxes, philosopher's stones? Will they make my magic stronger? Could they bring my family back when they were alive and well and so much was still possible? Will these fragments give me back the energy we charged the space with?
So I'm going to read two for you as well tonight. The first one is fairly new. I know Danielle's heard it, but you might be the only one in the room who has. I hope I have both of these memorized because I don't have them pulled up. If I falter, we'll figure it out as we go.
I've never seen them falter. That was something new.
I appreciate the confidence. Definitely happens. When I ordered the veggie burger and you asked me, if you wanted something that tastes like meat, why don't you just eat meat? What I wanted to say was, because it's not the taste I oppose, it's the torture. What I wanted to say was, if it could taste like meat, why would you insist on death? What I wanted to say was, because I could watch my food go from farm to table and not lose my appetite, can you? What I wanted to say was the same reason you would teach a child when an apple is perfectly right to pick, but not when a neck is right to slice. Why is slaughter okay as long as you don't have to watch?
Come on.
But I know I'd be the angry vegan. What I wanted to say was, why aren't you angry? But I don't, because I want to enjoy the dinner, the company. So I just die a little inside quietly. Not literally like the 10 billion farmed animals a year in America. Just another kick, another bruise, another moment where my heart takes a hit. Another few grains of compassion I watch trickle through humanity's hourglass, feeling like we are running out of compassion, of time. I'm just trying to hold a few grains of sand above surface level, and you ask why I don't like the sound they make when they fall. And maybe I failed the animals in this moment. Or maybe I just have to learn how to live in a world that doesn't want to know, doesn't want to listen, doesn't want to look, doesn't want to care, just wants their bloody burger. What I wanted to say was, the writing has been on the wall. the United Nations Environmental Program, and Harvard, and Oxford, and the top environmental scientists across the globe warn of the dire consequences of this industry's land use, water use, deforestation, and greenhouse gas emissions, how killing them is killing us. And you just smile and chew because it tastes so good to die. I'm going to do one more. So, some background on this. So I've got a trans daughter, I've got a non-binary child, and then I've got a boy as well. And it's a conversation I didn't want to have with my father, as we're talking about fathers. And I was waiting for my daughter to be ready to announce, because my daughter had not, told some of us, but not like publicly put out there, and it's not my call to make that. And for her graduation, she was ready, and so what she wanted announced, like school knew. She went to the Career Center, not necessarily high school, but and grandparents on the other side were there, so that was the revelation there. And I had not told my father because the other grandparents are closer. I'll cut this out. But the other grandparents are closer to my kid, and so I was like, I'm not until this comes out. And then I decided, you know what? She's ready. I'm just posting it on Facebook. Here's the picture. My daughter Sabrina graduated today. And then we had a family reunion that I went to with my father. So have you ever had a conversation where it starts out really well? Like the first line of the conversation, you're like, this is going to go way better than I ever expected. And then the conversation continues. All right. In the quiet game, the first person to speak loses. It is often employed by parents of talkative young children hoping for a little momentary peace. But sometimes after we age, the child, through lack of text message, phone calls, ends up playing the quiet game with their father. In the quiet game, you win by not making a sound. I let you learn your grandchild's new name on Facebook because I didn't want to have this conversation. The one we are having right now. In this awkward moment at our awkward family reunion. You made a point of telling me how you have nothing against anyone who's gay or trans, and for a moment I felt a glimmer of hope. Oh boy. Which quickly faded as you continued. You just don't like when they flaunt it on television and movies. In the quiet game, you win by not letting your existence have a voice. And you feel the need to add, you think it's a sin. The quiet game was invented a long time ago. You do, however, point out that you don't think it's okay to beat them up, how you'd have their backs if that ever happened to them. Acknowledging the very real possibility of force, threats, violence, intimidation that may come upon them for the very beliefs you've been spouting off. People always seem to be freaked out when they hear sounds coming from the closet, even when they shoved someone inside. And I wonder how I'll report this conversation when I return home. So I guess, my children, Grandpa will be fine if you would just play the quiet game with your lives.
Wow.
Appreciate that. We have one more voice to the open mic. And I want to save you for last because I think I know a piece you're doing tonight. And it's incredible. I had a chance thing, a little peek. I was blessed enough to have a little sneak peek at this piece. I don't know if you've had a chance to read it out yet. No? Okay, so, ooh, sweet. It's incredible. I'm really excited about that. Please welcome to the mic your favorite snack dealer, Arianna.
I need life insurance to step up here. Hi.
Hi.
That was weak as shit. Let's try it again, okay? Hi.
Hi.
Okay, so my name's Arianna, and my bad, I was writing down the good thank you on my hand, and I got it all written because I'm gonna look it up. Tyler. Okay. Anyways, so I wrote this poem. I was on TikTok, as I'm always on TikTok, and I saw the discourse between. What was the question? If you had the choice, would you rather be trapped in the woods with a bear or a man? And it was weird that people were making it weird. Which is okay. So I think I have it memorized. We're gonna try it. And thank you for the feedback. Okay. I'm visually impaired, so if I take my glasses off, you guys are.
You gotta take them off so you can see.
Yeah. Bears know what it's like to be seen in parts and not a living being. Bears can relate to being in a zoo, paraded by men who have taken dominion over another body knows entrapment. The captivation and captivity are two different things. In the rare occurrence that I was harmed by a bear, the bear would not revel in my death. The bear would not deny its transgression or participate in an apology tour when the truth came out. Tell me it loves me and maul me again. Won't participate in a podcast with his bear friends and asks, why would a woman go to the woods if not to taste my claws? Won't give play-by-plays on Reddit. Log on to social media, trigger my PTSD, take selfies next to my main corpse, log on to social media and trigger my PTSD again and again, understand the word no, and devour me anyways. The likelihood of a man attacking a woman is 1 in 3. The last time a woman was harmed by a man was probably yesterday, or 2 minutes ago. The last time a woman had to prove it is always. Bears have teeth, non-retractable claws. A man will have untamed fury and an inability to respect boundaries. My former poetry coach turned his students into persona pieces, edited their poems, marveled at how all of their lines were broken. Andrew Forham threw acid on this girl's face because she wanted to break up and he wanted to break her. Renamed the attack an accident. Cassie filed a lawsuit against Sean Combs detailing years and years of abuse, and we watched as he rebranded himself as Brother Love, altering his past with a Diddy crap. Daystar Peterson shoots Megan Thee Stallion in the foot. The people demanded proof of the victim and nothing of the villain. The discourse of men wanting women's bodies and not the soul attached to it's become a normal phenomenon. And we still question if the woman would rather be trapped with a bear or a man. Either way, I'm stuck. But I'm still choosing the fucking bear. Woo! So I'm a poet who loves feedback, and I'm preparing for a slam, which is something I haven't done in like 8-10 years. So this poem I wrote before I got here.
Notion?
Yes. So although I guess it's not as cool because it's not on paper, I'll still figure it out. Okay. So I used to be a cutter, which seemed really cool and Degrassi. It was. She was just like, and then her life was better, right? And then like the episode ended, you were like, oh wow, solutions, coping strategies. No. So it's been 8 years, whoop whoop. And so this poem came about because my niece was looking at the scars on my arm, and she was like, TT, what's that? And I was like, let me read this poem real quick. During a commercial break, my niece asked me to explain the cuts on my arm. I don't believe in lying, especially to children. I tell her I was trying to dig out the darkness. preparing for the incoming traffic of follow-up questions, gathering my rebuttals, not wanting to scar her or trigger myself, but she never asked. Donated her attention back to her regularly scheduled cartoons. Now I'm all scarred up with nowhere to go, interpreting the dead language carved into my forearm as blood magic. A lie my body tells my brain blood means release, or whatever a vice makes you feel when you've gotten your fix. My first attempt at an incantation happened 15 years ago. The spell called for a CD split in two in the belief that repeated lacerations would draw out the darkness. Not knowing my depression was masquerading as a Wiccan, my mother told me I wasn't good enough. That I resembled my father, a sorcerer with a knack for leaving and destroying happiness, inadvertently teaching me to be a necromancer, resurrect my smile buried beneath my skin, blood magic. I became an expert at vanishing acts and not being able to find myself for weeks, months. The only thing familiar is my name written in blood magic, an endless chant, a spell only I could cast. I didn't bother telling myself I would stop. I don't believe in lying, especially to children.
Man.
All right.
Thank you, Arianna. Let's give it up for all of the amazing poets that happened on the open mic tonight. Thank you all. We're going to take a short, maybe 5-minute break. Restrooms down the hall for those who don't know. Suggested $5 donation. You can also do it virtual if that's easier for you. Cash App, Bell, PayPal, Venmo, whatever. You can get it through me if Stephanie doesn't have it directly. All of that goes directly to our feature tonight. Another great thing for you to do, time to grab a drink. Michael, are you still doing sandwich? You done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Done. Okay, I thought maybe anywhere later. So grab a drink from Seth, but also interact. Tell somebody how you like the energy in the room. Tell somebody how you like something they delivered up here on the mic. We'll be back in 5 minutes. All right, we have one little bit left here because a pretty amazing part of this, we get to hear Stephanie Ginese say one more time. Absolutely. I know some of you may have not been here when this night started, and if you missed Stephanie, you definitely want to catch some of this. And the rest of us sticking around because we already heard you once, and we want to hear you again. Please welcome back to the mic, Stephanie Ginese.
Get up on the stage here. This is a very lovely stage, by the way. Woo. Thank you all so much for sticking around and enjoying those cookies. Those cookies are very good, Keith.
Thank you.
I know they're vegan, and people be talking about vegan, but I feel like desserts, the vegans have nailed it.
Yeah.
They've gotten it down. Yeah. No complaints.
We can handle this.
Yeah, you got it. In fact, you can take the wheel on it. I'm working on a new book, which... Hey. And in like 3 years it'll come out. No, I hope not. I hope it's sooner than that. It's about growing up in Lorain. If you don't know where Lorain is, it is north.
I'm so sorry you had to be
West.
I know. But like, I feel like a lot of people have that sentiment about most places in Ohio, just growing up in Ohio in general. But I love being from Ohio. I'm a real Midwest girl.
Yeah.
And I noticed that when I go to other places, and they're like, "Oh, where are you from?" And I'm like, "Cleveland." They're like, "No." And I'm like, yeah, baby. Northeast Ohio, born and raised. So I'm working on a book that talks about Puerto Rican migration to Northeast Ohio because we have a very large concentration of it. And a lot of folks often think, oh, New York, Orlando, Florida, Chicago, you know? But here in Northeast Ohio, we've got a really large population, and I'm interested in researching the how, the why, and the now and the future. So this first poem is called La Colonia. It starts with a quote. That's that. La Colonia. There began to be a heavy discrimination of Puerto Ricans in Lorain, especially in housing. There would be signs posted on apartment buildings reading, "No Puerto Ricans, no pets." Puerto Ricans soon moved into housing in South Lorain designated by the Sheffield Land Company as foreign housing. Lorain Historical Society. Capito was first known as Puerto Rican Boulevard. We all got here by the bootstraps. Operation Bootstrapped. An illustrious, industrious term. Means robbery. Means we rename parts of this hood to remind us of another hood. Fast forward to now, and I'll tell you how we have more dollar stores than schools. Because what good is math if it don't come with a discount? All of the schools I went to are gone. Just vacant fields now. I've seen kids running in these fields each time I return home. Can't say I blame this town for knowing it is better to make them faster than to make them smarter. There is always something to run from. Except on Sundays when babies get baptized in water blessed and leaded. Titis pass prayers from lips heavy with drink and curse. Choir sings us out to the gymnasium. The humidity of cooked olives and spiced beef wets every brow and top lip. Pastelillos and the grace of Mary dissolve us into the street, giddy with stray boys and lazy bullets. And when we leave here, we'll never really leave here. I am nothing but an igneous steel skeleton, salted and twice fried, wired to denounce anything that speaks ill of the place that made me what I am. A song of knives sweating at the throat. Thank you. Real Ohio shit. But it's true. It's true. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Also, shout out Keith and Arianna, because I love when people can like memorize their poems and deliver them so like powerfully. I can't do that, but I'm a stand-up comedian too, and like having to like try to memorize jokes and like your route to your jokes is already enough. So the poem's gonna have to be read off the page. All these poems are from a book. A lot of these titles are actually places in Lorain, real places. Some of them still standing, some of them not. This one is not. Oakwood Plaza. The wind opens its arms and I am a city without a skyline. Or a town in a dead stranger's clothes. That's right, a town wearing a nameplate that claims something more. Like city. But I am so town. Keep my name out your mouth and in an Ohio drive-thru. Either way, I'm a mouth howling gossip and jest, calling myself a city built on a river dark as spoiled grease. All my lovers are teeth, oxidized and patient. I leave them abandoned at gas stations and Taco Bells. Work a street corner in daddy's two big boots and mommy's purple contact lenses. The moth that lives in my hair chews through it, each strand holding a secret as deep as a secret. I am a shopping plaza of desire. Except in this city, the shopping plaza is demolished because it came to the party dressed as a carnival, but the carnival came dressed as a shooting, and so. I came to the party dressed as a charred tortilla dripping with butter and salt. I came to the party dressed as a struggle meal. I came to the party dressed as a struggle. I came to the meal dressed as a struggle. I came to the struggle dressed as a meal, baby. I'm at the party struggling for a meal. But there are no meals because the only grocery store was in that plaza, and so I eat my deepest breath and become the wind. Thank you. I'm gonna read you 3 more poems. 4 more poems. 4 more poems! Then we're gonna get the fuck out of here. But they're not very long. I can't write poems for very long. I think it's the ADD. Like I can't, pages and pages, and I'm like, I'm done. I can't say anymore. I guess my attention span. I'm gonna go with that. Like I said, a lot of this book deals with things that happened, true. Some are memories, rememoried, and those can be true. Sometimes not, but I don't know. It's how you remember stuff. This poem is a blackout poem, and it is a news article that talks about a girl who passed away while I was in like junior high. I'll only read the parts that I didn't black out because that's the poem. That's how a blackout poem works. All right. Anyway, South Lorraine fairy tale. South Lorraine fairy tale. Partially clothed and severely burned, the body. A brush fire, igniting, finishing, with dark shoelaces. The body in a trash can, the body 15, the girl a slumber party. Her body in the woods, a boy, a South Lorain convenience store, a black bag in a trash can behind the Dairy Mart, with her jewelry, a pair of blue jeans, bracelet, shirt, shoelaces. In the bag, empty bottles of rubbing alcohol, fingernail polish, a love note. Burn the body, take the life, burn. A cigarette, burn. A girl, burned, I said. Thank you. Stuff like that would happen growing up in Lorain all the time, and then the adults would be like, okay, see ya later. And you're like, I feel like we should have had a conversation, at least just like, it's hard out here, right? Here's some pepper spray. Good luck. Something. God bless it. They were scared too. Who knows? This poem, we're going to zoom out. We're not in Lorain anymore. We're in Ohio in general. Okay. You remember when, what was it, last summer, right? All those trains kept crashing and creating all these explosions and things were looking grim last summer. This poem's called Before Another. Birds and flowers make for better poems than this, especially ones with names that require some research when read or heard. Everyone wants to read about the bird perching or cooing in the novelty of morning. What if instead of cooing, the bird coughed? The moment before its petty heart seized. The moment after the explosion. The moment the smoke plumed unlike any feathers you've seen before. The only truth. A grim plastic nebula has swallowed the sky. And what of the water below? Sterling fish float to the surface of the sheened river the moment before the rain poisons down on this town. Automobiles peel like eager fruit. A small boy burns from the gas of a strange future that only guarantees a vacant field, jeweled with the orange pill bottles that the boy's father left behind. In another moment, in another part, in another explosion, there's another bird, too choked to whistle a last song. Flakes of alloy alley-oop like seed pods in the wind, past a window where Ziploc bags are being washed in hot leaded water. Reduce, reuse, residue. On the counter, plastic butter containers cupping day-old beans, white clumps of rice, leftover ensalada de papas. Memories of a home hugged by water, never any butter in them. Like the cookie tin that promised the riches and distance of Danish cookies, but there were never any inside. Never. Just needle, thread, and that pink cushion that looks like a tomato. Red as the light from a railroad signal in Ohio. Thank you. All right, I said
they bought those tins like that.
They did, right? That was just a fool thing. It was a fool thing. Like, remember, they used to give those, like, it looked like a little Band-Aid box, but there was gum in it. Why was that a thing that they gave us as kids? They're like, you're going to hurt yourself and you'll need a Band-Aid. Instead, it'll be gum. All right, 2 more poems, and then we're out of here, family. This book, there's poems. I don't want to read this one. Okay, I lied. I'm going to read this one instead. All right. The ADD kicks in. But this book talks about growing up in Lorain, for sure. What it's like to grow up in an abandoned steel town, you know, the after effects. Then what it's like to grow up and be like, hey, there's still no money anywhere. Or maybe there is, but you can never find it, right? Any hoodles. Also, real quick, I have kids now, and they go to school, and that's cool, and they have mandatory financial literacy classes they have to take before graduation, and I want to say, that's sweet.
What was that?
This is my question. That's why I wrote the poem. Because where was that? I was 19 with a credit score of like negative 213. Right. Anyway, this one's called Basic Economics. It's my attempt at a love poem, too, by the way. Basic Economics. The alarm clock might as well be a falling tree in a vacant forest, the way nobody hears it. The hollow where your neck meets your shoulder is a valley I would retire in. Fuck retirement. I want to disappear now. The hollow where your neck meets your shoulders is a valley I would go on unemployment for. Get on food stamps for. Make the government pay my rent so that I never have to leave from this valley. Warm as the cinnamon I top my free cappuccino with. I can never afford to leave this city. The freebies alone keep me afloat. When I finally make it to work, bloodshot eyes and your scent still between my legs. There is not enough weed to make capitalism fun. I wear boots black as rebellion, so everyone I walk by knows where I stand. I am fucked in more ways than one, and the bills never stop coming, darling. When I wear the dirty t-shirts you leave behind, I know you'll say it's gross. I will argue it's romantic, but honestly, I'm just trying to make the laundry stretch until payday. Thank you. Okay, last one. We're back in Lorain, okay? Everybody buckle up. It's an hour away. It's like more than an hour. I don't know. I never traveled to Akron from Lorain, so I can't tell you the distance. But it's 40 minutes from Cleveland. And then Lorain is like 30 minutes west of Cleveland. Do the math. How far is it? Do you know? 1 hour. See? All right, we're back. That was a quick 1 hour. We're already there. This poem's called 32nd Street, and it might be my favorite poem I've ever written. Because it's personal. 32nd Street. It is the late 90s, and everyone is still alive. And this is what I mean when I say take me back and like fuck a weekend in Miami. I mean take me back to the days before death came and did a street sweep. I mean, who did we wrong to curse us like this? And anyway, we were just kids on porches stuck in the smooth of summer. Or on bikes, all explorer type, traversing parts of the city our parents couldn't find out about. I mean, we spent most afternoons at the Quick Mart on the corner scraping a few dollars together for some honey barbecue twists and coconut sodas. Or at the park on the other side of the block, watching basketballs and the boys that dribbled them flit along the sticky courts, hoping the chip crisp twists of our baby curls and the glisten of freshly Carmex lips would be enough to seduce the one with the lineup of a demigod. And the park was so full of life back then, with all the Kool-Aid lipped kids hanging from the monkey bars, and the little custom Hondas with subs competing to be the supplier of this afternoon's soundtrack. Between trumpets, crying out for a home they cannot afford to return to, and the hollow drums fighting to stay heard over the rumble of hungry bellies, and yet the loudest sound in attendance was laughter, until it wasn't. I mean, take me back to the days when she was still here, and 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 she was still here. I mean, why everybody I love gotta be so good at becoming ghosts? I mean, if I could just stand on the corner of this poem forever, I would. Thank you.
Dang. Wow. Give it up one more time for Stephanie. How was that for a night, y'all? Yeah. All right. If you know folks who might be interested, you got a place to throw up a little flyer. First Wednesday of every month. Next month's feature is Galaxy, coming in from Toledo. Galaxy's amazing. Love to see you back for that. If you did not yet throw in a donation, heading straight Stephanie's way, please do that if you are able to. Let's give it up for the Rialto Theatre. For all of the poets on the open mic. For everyone in here giving your amazing energy and attention. And last and most importantly for tonight, give it up one last time for Stephanie Ginese. Thanks for coming out, y'all.